Don't you just hate retarded viral marketing bollocks? And don't you just love it when it goes catastrophically wrong and turns into the most glorious train wreck the internet's witnessed in fucking ages? Wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to go back to earlier.
Bob had bitch tits.
No, not that far back. A little while ago, a thing started happening on the internet, a thing called bully hunters, and what a glorious and wondrous thing it was too. The early indications were, well, let's be honest, the early indications suggested it was going to be a complete clusterfuck. The cringe began early, with the first promos and articles saying that we were about to witness the birth of a vigilante group dedicated to ending the harassment of women in games, via the cunning use of leak gamer girls dressed in black hoodies. Basically, imagine a shit Anonymous but with SteelSeries headphones. So the stage was set. In a few days, harassment was going to be made a thing of the past, as mankind was forced to respect the gamer girls and their elite ganking skills, even though it totally wasn't a gank squad, you guys. Honest. There were even sponsors involved, in the form of Vertigear, Cyberpower and SteelSeries, so clearly good things were about to happen. Yeah, not so much. It was really quite impressive how quickly things began to fall apart the very second that the spokeswoman for the project opened her gob, going by the handle of Zombie Unicorn and fully equipped with rainbow warning hair and a distinct tendency to block people who disagree with her after 3 nanoseconds. She was clearly the right woman for the job, and not an actual bully herself. Oh, oops. Apparently, these are the rules of Bully Hunters Club. Still, at least she didn't use meaningless pseudo-statistics pulled right out someone's ass and then get pissy with a professional mental health researcher who challenged her to show the source. Oh. Well, fine. At least people didn't check and prove that the victim and the bully hunter in the trailer were alternate names for the same Steam account, thus meaning the entire thing was faked with a mere handful of Steam accounts. Oh, god damn it. Well, that doesn't bode well, does it? By this point, everyone watching was expecting this to be a complete train wreck, but then something surprising happened, something that shouldn't be possible, but it happened anyway. The stream itself happened, and holy Jesus H cumbuckets on a tricycle made of quim. It was an even bigger, more hilarious train wreck than any of us could have possibly imagined. It wasn't just one fuck up either. I could go with the fact that the stream failed about 27 times. I could go with the fact that the presenters had not one clue what they were talking about. I could go with the fact there was about 5 minutes of CSGO footage in the entire thing, or that the footage in this live event was all pre-recorded, while there was about 20 minutes of people talking about the patriarchy. I could go with the fact that the audience looked like they were being held hostage. I could go with the fact that the clinical gamer counsellor is actually a specialist in the field of diabetes. Hell, I could even go with that one pic that's destined to become a meme where the stream throws on the incredible, unfortunate image of one woman apparently jizzing her brains out. But I'm not going to, because to pick up on just one issue is to ignore everything else that made this into such a singularity of fuck up. So, how can we sum up the stream itself? Oh, I know. What they thought would happen was this.
Get away from her, you bitch!
But what really happened was this.
No!
So basically then, when you get right down to it, what was the point of this shit show? Well, I'll tell you now, it had precisely dick all to do with actually stopping harassment. Remember that opening line, and remember how we said to remember the name SteelSeries? Yeah, it began to look like the entire thing was an extended advert for headphones, and since the SteelSeries name was plastered all over the website source code, it had to be their doing, right? Well, as it turns out, maybe not. You see, the happenings have kept, happening, and while writing this script, literally all but one of the sponsors for Bully Hunters has pulled out and disavowed them. SteelSeries, pulled out. Vertigear, buggered off. Cyberpower, Gonski. The Diverse Gaming Coalition disavowed them hard. It was really something seeing all those sponsor logos disappear one by one off their website, but I have to be honest, it was even funnier to watch their website disappear altogether. Yeah, I don't just mean it's unavailable, I mean it's gone. Oh, and SteelSeries has hinted that they might sue a bitch, so that's fun. So who's to blame for all this? Initially suspicion fell on SteelSeries, as it was their name plastered all over the website, but we now know more thanks to the investigative work of reporter Richard Lewis. You see, unlike modern games journalists, Richard Lewis is a proper journalist who knows how to dig and dig until he finds the truth. The tweet chain's a long one, so I'm not going to screenshot the entire thing, but it can be summed up thusly. Ad agency FCB Chicago allegedly came up with the whole thing and suckered everyone else into sponsoring it by allegedly not being entirely honest about how the project would pan out. So if the whole thing wasn't actually a stupid ploy to sell headphones, then we have to ask once again what the hell the point was. I'll quote from Richard Lewis's tweet here. If you look at the list of clients, they have done nothing directly in gaming. The harassment narrative brings a lot of attention from the mainstream. They specifically called this a passion project. They wanted it to be a calling card for more work, I assume. Yeah, I'm calling it. Someone wanted to show the world how woke they are. We just don't know who it is yet, because during the writing of this bit, Zombie Unicorn has done a stream on Twitch, throwing SteelSeries under the bus and distancing herself from Bully Hunters. Oh, but then FCB Chicago came out and said that actually SteelSeries was a partner in the project, not just the first sponsor. So I'm bugging if I know what's going on anymore. Bear in mind that all of this is in the space of a couple of days too. It's like watching a Greek fucking tragedy on fast forward. It's the balls up heard round the world and it's still going. Seriously, this script has already been rewritten 3 fucking times. Christ knows what's going to happen in the next few days when places like Kotaku, Polygon and the fucking Guardian get their greasy paws on it. There's another side to this though. Sure, this whole thing has been fucking hilarious, but there's a more serious point here, and it's actually really kinda nasty. What things like Bully Hunters do is promote a really insidious worldview that says women are somehow weaker than men and need protecting. It's exactly the same as when that daft bin from Harry Potter went before the UN and said he for she, thus neatly implying that women can't succeed on their own and need men's help to achieve anything. Fuck right off. That doesn't sound like any of the women I know, and they'd savage your rainbow-dyed flaps off for even suggesting it. You claim to want to empower women, then don't pull horse shit like this, where you tell them they need someone else's help because they're too weak to do it for themselves. I think we'd probably best summarise the whole farce at this point. Subtitle guy, you're up. 1. Some moron thought the whole Bully Hunters thing would be a good idea, although we've no idea who. 2. The presenter of the stream built up anticipation for it by being a colossal dickhead on Twitter. 3. The stream happened and was a singularity of pure fail. 4. Literally everyone involved backpedaled like a mad bastard until we reached the point where literally all their sponsors fucked off and their website got nuked. And that brings us to the final point, where we realise that this shit show is still going on, and Christ alone knows when it will end. Dear Lord, I have never seen a self-sustaining train wreck quite like this bastard. I can barely comprehend the kind of incompetence it takes to fuck your own project up to such an extent that it gets nuked and disavowed within 2 fucking days of being revealed. This isn't a dumpster fire anymore, this is fucking Chernobyl. Not even EA have ever fucked up that badly. You know what, I'm going to jump to a conclusion here, because this script is now on the 4th rewrite, and frankly, it's really pissing me off. This whole shit show had nothing to do with ending harassment or bullying or helping people in the slightest. It was one gigantic clusterfuck of hubris, as someone tried to virtue signal and suckered in a load of sponsors who should have done some fucking fact checking. Someone will doubtlessly watch this and try to say I'm in favour of harassment, but you know what, balls to them. Obviously harassment is bad when it happens to anyone male or female, and anyone who needs that spelling out for them hasn't been paying attention. And if you think bully hunters will help, you've been paying less attention than I thought. How about empowering people to say, hit their bullies with big fucking sticks? That'd work. Or you could just remind people that the mute button and the report button exist for a reason. Just a thought. But on that shocking use of common sense, it's time to end. Thanks very much for watching. What? I'm trying to do my outro. What did you call me? Why not? What? Really? I thought you told me it was all over but the crying. We're a really professional outfit, aren't we? Right, let's have a look. Okay, first up we've got a tweet from Mallory Law, the community manager for Discord. To quote the important bit, it says it was pitched to us as a gaming version of the #MeToo movement, but was completely staged and had zero basis. I'm confused to how this was okayed by so many. So there we go then. FCB Chicago lied their asses off in the pitch meetings to all the sponsors and sold them a lemon. Seems pretty cut and dried considering that FCB Global went on record with Polygon, taking full responsibility for what happened and confirming it was all their idea and they paid for it, but it's all good because it started a conversation. Yeah, I agree. Fuck off. That's like going up to a school kid, battering their face in and saying, "Hey, at least we started a conversation about bullying in schools." I'll tell you what it started a conversation about. You started a conversation where people who claim harassment in future will be believed less because of your lies. You started a conversation that will result in more people having to suffer in silence, and it will be your fault. You threw people who suffer abuse under the bus for the sake of starting a fucking conversation. You absolute fucking parasites. There's also one final mystery to all of this. Is this simply a case of FCB Global falling on their sword to try and take the heat off their actual client? Only you see, their statement where they take full responsibility does not line up with this tweet from Abby Sager, Executive Director of the Diverse Gaming Coalition. You see it? Right there near the start she says, FCB Chicago and their client. Abby Sager is clearly bound by the NDA they signed, which is absolutely fair enough, but that does mean that at the end of this, one massive question will still remain. Who was that client? Who was this shadowy figure pulling the strings in the background? Was there even a client there? Or was it just FCB Chicago further taking the piss? Or was it just SteelSeries all along wearing an old man Withers mask? Fucked if I know. Maybe we'll find out one day, but on that massive Scooby-Doo conspiracy theory, it's really time to end. Thanks very much for watching. I am AutomaTitan, and thanks to bully hunters, I have learned the most important lesson. Namely, that it's okay when we do it, which means I am totally justified in bully hunting subtitle guy with this polo mallet. Oh fuck no, not her. Wait, I've changed my mind! I've changed my mind!